I'm Kai Ling. It's time for news on Razor Top 5. As part of the International Museum Day 2009 celebrations, the National Heritage Board launched its pilot tour, War on Wheels. The aim of the program was to expose school children to what Singapore was like during World War II. Razor TV joins the tour on its last leg of the journey.
What better way to have a history lesson than out of the classroom? We joined some 26 Nanyang Girls High students as they experienced food rationing firsthand at Bukit Chandu, where the Malay Regiment had its last stand. Starting at 9:30 a.m. at Kranji, where Japanese invaders first landed on Singapore, the girls continued on through a war memorial, the Battle of Bukit Timah, the Alexandra Hospital massacre, and more. Here at Bukit Chandu, the girls also received food rations consisting of sweet potatoes, biscuits, and bananas. They also had banana money to trade for ice cream and were given an aerogram each to write their reflections of the day's activities. Now, in addition to food rationing, the girls also toured the galleries, which showcased some of the accounts of the war victims. We asked them some of their thoughts. What would you have done if you were involved in the occupation?
Well, if I had been in the occupation at the time, my utmost priority would be to stay alive and keep my family alive. So I probably follow all the rules of the Japanese. And I would definitely have this belief that it would not last forever. If you lose hope of rescue and you believe that this is going to be the rest of your life and the life of your children, then there is no point in living anymore.
So after this whole tour today, what's the most important thing that you have learned?
The thing that struck me most was at the Kranji War Memorial, where you just see this mass of graves. These soldiers, these warriors, they gave up everything. They gave up their families, their lives. They're prepared to lose everything just for the sake of their country, which was really heartwarming to know that there were such people around, and most of them weren't even Singaporeans, so to speak, which really makes me think about myself, my identity as a Singaporean girl.
The thing that affected me the most when I saw was this quote by Elizabeth Choi. It was something about how she became less materialistic after she became tortured for 200 days because, well, she said she didn't need mansion, she didn't need any diamonds anymore. And I think it struck me how people back then, they were fighting for food, and well, how some of us today, they waste our food. I think we should be happier with what we are living with because, well, they were going through the winter of their war. We are living in the summer of their sacrifice.
Would you defend Singapore?
I do my best to defend Singapore because I don't have the skills to do it on the military side. I cannot guide, I cannot direct soldiers. I'll leave that to the generals, but I think I'll do my best to support them.
Now, if you want to find out more about ongoing activities on Singapore's history, head over to www.museums.com.sg/IMD09.
Thinking of something to do over the weekend? Well, you can head down to the Singapore Book Fair for a bit. Yvonne checks out what's in store.
Here's something to bury your nose in. The Singapore Book Fair opens today at the Suntec Convention and Exhibition Centre. With about 100 exhibitors from 11 Asian countries, more than 100,000 books are up for grabs, ranging from fiction to Chinese books to educational resources.
Seeing quite a big variety of books on show, so I'll probably take my time to look around.
What are you here at the book fair for?
To get young scientists for them. They're having an offer.
这里华文书有没有找到你想要的东西？
有啊，我有买了，因为都有大折扣。
Every year we'll be here. First of all, it's the bargains. Yeah, it's like more than 50% that we can have since that the economy is down now. So yeah, it's a good bargain for us, for the family.
Organisers Singapore Press Holdings Chinese Newspaper Division and Marshall Cavendish have given out book vouchers to the tune of $30,000 to 1,000 needy children to be used at the fair.
This is the first day of the Singapore Book Fair, and already the crowds, as you can see, are coming in. In fact, every year over 300,000 visitors attend this book fair, whether to browse or to buy.
Into its 24th year, the Singapore Book Fair, previously known as World Book Fair, will play host to book lovers at Suntec till June 7th.
Now here's a look at Singapore in 60 seconds. SMRT will roll out its first wheelchair-accessible bus services from Monday. Each bus comes with low floorboards and ramps and can take up to 2 wheelchair-bound passengers. From July, a new government grant will be available for non-profit childcare operators. The money can be used to provide scholarships for teachers, reduce class sizes, and support programs for children who need more assistance. A general practitioner has been suspended for 6 months for giving a false impression that he was a specialist. Dr. Zubin Firdaus Midora claimed that he spent years practicing overseas, but he only had stints as a clinical assistant. The Great Singapore Sale starts today, and apart from shopping, consumers can look forward to the Great Singapore Feast and cheaper admissions to tourist attractions. And that was our Singapore Minute. Now back to Razor Top 5. Enforcement is being stepped up here to tackle the problem of litterbugs. Some of the new measures include raising the frequency of inspections in food centres to once a fortnight and stiffer fines for hygiene labs. Fines for first-time offenders who failed to dispose small items like cigarette butts and sweet wrappers in litter bins will be increased from $100 to $300. Repeat offenders will get harsher penalties. In addition to serving corrective work order, they can also be hit with fines of up to $5,000. And 3 more patients have tested positive for the H1N1 flu virus, bringing the number of cases to 4. The man and 2 women touched down in Singapore on different flights from the United States over the past few days. They have been admitted to the Communicable Disease Centre and are now in stable condition. Razor TV spoke to one of them who is being quarantined at the CDC.
So how are you feeling right now?
I'm alright, a bit dizzy, but I'm alright.
Mm-hmm. So I understand that you were actually in the US. So where do you think you got the virus from?
I really don't know. I'm not sure actually, probably there, but I didn't get sick until the day after I arrived.
So did you go to any places that you think you might have gotten the virus from?
No, because I've basically just, I stay in a house in the US. I was basically just there.
And which part of the US is that?
San Francisco.
So did you take any special precautions when you were traveling to the US?
No, I didn't. You mean a vaccine? No, I didn't.
So after you came back, when did you realize that you were sick?
A day after. So I arrived on the 26th, and then yesterday morning was when I have a cough and cold.
Okay, so after that, what did you do?
Well, I went to a clinic, and then the clinic, they sent me over to Tan Tock Seng already. They didn't speak to me anymore. They just sent me to Tan Tock Seng.
Okay, so what are some of the symptoms that you were experiencing?
Yeah, like I said, the cough, the colds, and I had high fever.
So what did they tell you to do now?
Well, right now I have to stay isolated, and they're just giving me medicines for my flu.
So how long do you have to be quarantined for?
I don't know. I'm not sure yet. They don't know either. So they'll just try and treat the flu, I guess, first.
As of this morning, the Health Ministry has served 31 home quarantine orders to close contacts of the 4 H1N1 patients. Now, MOH says they have identified 122 passengers on the 3 flights of the latest 3 confirmed cases. Of the 122, 61 have entered Singapore, and the authorities had been in touch with 18 of them. They will be served the home quarantine orders. Contact tracing for the rest is still in progress. And that's all for today. If you want to contact us, you can send us tweets at Razor TV on Twitter or send us a message via our Facebook application. Also, do email us if you have any news tips, photos or videos. Lastly, don't feel shy to join in our Razor TV forums to share your views and opinions. See you next week.